This is Three Hens and a Peacock. It's by Lester L. Laminack, and it's illustrated by Henry Cole. So this is the story of this peacock that shows up on this farm. He falls off the back of a truck in a box, and he's never lived on a farm before, so he doesn't really know what to do. So he kind of just walks around, and he ends up down by the road. And people stop to get a closer look because it's a peacock and they're curious. And this is really good for business because they also buy things from the farm stand. So the peacock turns out to be a really big asset to the farm. But the hens are angry because they feel like they do all the work and he doesn't really do anything and he's getting all the credit. So the story is just kind of about how they resolve this conflict with each other. I'll read the beginning of the book. Things were quiet on the Tuckers' farm. The cows chewed their cud. The hens clucked and pecked and laid their eggs. The old hound stretched out on the porch, watching and listening. Once in a while, someone would stop to buy tomatoes or corn, perhaps a quart of milk. Nothing unusual happened there. Until that peacock showed up. The cows and the hens and the old hound kept right on doing what they'd always done. But that peacock had never lived on a farm before. He had no idea what to do. So he spread his fancy feathers and set to shrieking. Eventually, the peacock wandered down to the road. When cars whizzed by, he shook his feathers and cried out in his loudest voice. Of course, folks stopped for a closer look. So that's just the beginning of the story. This story has a Lexile range of 590, so it fits the range for 2nd through 3rd grade. It's recommended for ages 5 through 8, but honestly, I think it's a book that could be great for anyone. I really love it. The theme of this story, or one of them, is that it's okay to have different talents, and everyone has things they're good at and other things that they're not so good at. And so it's basically about like accepting differences. And so I would really recommend this book for just to have in general and especially in the classroom. Another thing that I really loved about this book are the illustrations. The facial expressions on like the chickens and the other characters in the story are great. So like this is when they're talking about their plan, and just the expressions on their faces are so humorous. And then it's just a great book in general. So, Three Hens and a Peacock.